For Tuesdays. We're back again live on our Truthful Tuesday. Oh my gosh, we wasn't here last week. We wasn't here last week, was we?
No, it was 2 weeks ago.
So it's 2 weeks
Well, it
ago.
feels like it was just last week.
Yeah, it felt like it was just
No,
last
it's
week. But oh my god, it's amazing. It's actually we don't celebrate Valentine's, do we? Do we celebrate?
No,
We don't.
I don't. Not anymore anyway.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, I celebrate Love Day. I celebrate agape love.
Every day is love day. Every day. But I tell you what though, do you know what's so nice?
Yeah.
It's so nice to see the men out there.
Yes.
I saw a lot of men with flowers, and I even saw a gentleman in one of the supermarkets presenting the flowers to his partner. It looks as though that they may have met up in like the car park.
Oh,
and he
amazing.
there with flowers. So sweet.
Oh, bless. Oh, bless. Love. Love. Oh my God. God is amazing. God is love. God
Yes,
is
he
love.
is. Yes, he is.
God is love. And we celebrate love day. We celebrate couples. We celebrate marriages. We celebrate those that are finding love, those that have just got engaged. We what's the word? We celebrate you, you know.
And we love our family members as well.
Yes.
Just spread the love, spread the love.
Spread the love. I don't know who's on today. I can see 3 people on, but we're just spreading the love today because it's Love Day. We're going to take the Valentine's Day out and we're going to say Love Day.
Love Day.
You know, tomorrow's not promised, Nikki. You know what I mean? So tomorrow's not promised. So, you know, we have to love our loved ones, love our family, love our friends, love those around us. You have to love them because tomorrow's not promised. But we're just excited that we're here today and we've got another hot topic. Another hot topic.
This is a big one.
This is a big one, isn't it? And we also have a guest that's coming in today. So we're going to have him come on and we're going to have a discussion about our hot topic. So our hot topic today is it important for men to wear their wedding bands? Is it important? Is it important for men? And I know we're saying men, and you know, we're not singling out just men, but why we're saying men is because we found that a lot of times men are not wearing their wedding bands. And women, we love to wear our wedding bands. It's our thing. Well, me personally, you know, I like to know that I'm wearing my wedding band and people say, oh, you're married. And you're like, yeah. It's like, you know, you feel good. So for some men, I don't know. After the conversation, I want to find out, like, why are we not wearing our wedding bands? Why are we not doing it?
Yes.
Do you want to give us?
And sometimes it's culture as well. Some cultures they don't wear their wedding bands as well. So, but it is nice when you see them with wedding bands.
It's so true.
Yes.
So you want to give a little scenario next, like?
I know I was going to wait until our guest comes on.
Okay, that's fine. That's brilliant.
How he answers
the
scenario that I'm going to present.
Scenario. Oh wow. Yeah. So we're going to ask our guest to come on. His name is Olu, and he's coming on in about 2 seconds or so. And we're just going to have a conversation about is it important for men to wear their wedding?
From a male's perspective.
Yes.
Looking forward to this.
Come in, Olu. Oh, hey, Olu. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Nice to see you guys again.
Yes.
I've been following your show. It's very interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Very interesting topics.
Yes. We try to talk about things that people don't want to talk about. So that's our concept of, you know, trying to open up people's minds, open up what things are happening in the world, society, what we're led to believe. So we're kind of just wanting people to see it on another perspective and hearing other people's perspective of life and, you know, the situation and stuff.
Totally, I appreciate that because not a lot of will, and I think you guys do it. The way you do it on your platform, it's quite cozy. It doesn't feel strenuous.
Just relax. Yeah.
Sometimes when I talk to the screen, but now I'm in the studio.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So obviously, you know the title. Is it important for men to wear their wedding bands?
Well, before you ask,
okay.
So I wanted to just present a scenario. Okay, so these wonderful couple decide to get married, and maybe like 6 months down the line to a year, maybe, you know, They've exchanged their rings, so they're wearing their wedding bands at the start of their marriage. Okay, so they now 6 months to a year down the line, the husband then decides he no longer wants to wear his wedding band anymore. What do you say about that?
It's definitely an interesting one. And first, the reason being for context, why does he want to wear it? If he wasn't wearing it, if he was wearing it for the first 6 months and he was fine, and then he stops wearing it, that can open up a whole new kind of worms. So if I was a novelist, that story could go sideways. It could be a thing where it's not suitable for work. A lot of plumbers sometimes they don't wear their rings.
Right.
But it could be that the kindling is past the honeymoon stage in the relationship. So maybe he's about to step out. But again, there's everything in between. So you need a bit more context to it. But if it is just a thing where, again, going there, but if it's just that he's picked it up and said, you know what, I don't want to wear this today. I don't need to wear it to show my love. Then that's on a whole other topic in regards to why we actually wear the ring in the first place. Where did it come from?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it actually in the Bible?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it is. No.
Yeah. So again, but on a relationship point of view, how does the missus see it? Like, whoa, 6 months, we're in this new town. I've seen Jenny down the block. Why are you really down?
Jenny on the block.
So do you have a little bit more context?
Well, it could be, I mean, that's the thing we want to find out. Why is it that men sometimes decide that they no longer want to wear their wedding band? Or is it a case, because we know in some cultures they don't wear the wedding band. It's in their culture that they don't wear a wedding band. So the woman is already
in their culture though? Is it really?
Yeah, it is. You've got some cultures that the men do not wear a wedding band, and the woman's okay with it because she knows.
There's a few hours on the couch.
That's what I'm talking about.
In some cultures, you wear your ring on Tuesday. That's it. No.
And on Wednesday you take it off. Saturday you take it off. Friday you make.
You know, luckily I can give some context. So I do have my wedding band on. I'm going to do 10 years this year.
Yay!
So mine
Brilliant.
this year. Big shout out to my beautiful missus.
Yay! That's what we like to hear. That's what we're talking about.
So I'm not sure if they can hear us, but we'll talk up a little bit. But yeah, so when I first got married, I already knew I'm not going to be wearing my wedding ring.
You already knew?
Yeah, because I'm a bit anti. I never used to really like wearing rings.
Right.
I'll wear a ring on a pinky and that's it.
Okay.
The rest of it, my fingers used to swell up sometimes in sports.
Right.
I didn't really like it anyway. Now I wanted a justification. So when we were talking about the wedding rings and stuff, I was like, I'm not really going to wear it that much. Because this time, I'm in church quite heavily, but I'm in the SDA church. Big shout out to my Adventist out there, who we study this thing hard. So any topic, let's go into the book in it and see what the book says. So there's no justification for the wedding ring, because I used to see a lot of all the guys in there not wearing their wedding ring. I was thinking, that's interesting. And I'm like, yes, now I don't have to wear it. But I'm also thinking it from a point of view of what it fully signifies. Now, from a religious context, yes, I can argue the point. It's not in the Bible. I don't need it. There's a famous artist called Big Cakes, and I remember, and he's just read that then just on the road, and he's like, I don't need a ring to make you my wife. Or I need love my wife. And that also was my case, to say I don't need to wear it. So I didn't usually wear it much. When we came to buy the rings, I just said to my missus, you got 90% of the spend. I'll just get a ring for the day, because I don't want any wahala. So I'm from Nigeria. I'm asking, where's the ring? What is going on? Is everything okay? So for presentation purposes, I did understand the significance to my wife because it was important to her. But I said, look, so I'll wear the ring, but on my day-to-day, I'm not necessarily going to wear the ring. Now, when we had special events and stuff, I would wear it, without being asked. And I used to see that. It used to make her very happy. So to speak.
Wear the ring when you wear it.
Okay. It would make her happy.
How do you know she was happy?
Because she would say so, oh, you're wearing your ring. And she'd be gassed. We always say, she'd be gassed. So I kind of, understood it. So as the relationship went on further, I wore my ring more. Okay. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't enjoy it. And again, it was.
Why was you not enjoying it?
because there was just something on my wrist, and it was like always a bit. Sometimes it's a normal size, but sometimes it will swell up.
Okay.
So I told one of them. He and my friend Wayne got married maybe 5, 6 years later,
Mm.
and his ring was bad. And me and Wayne into gadgets. So he comes to this ring and he's like, "Bro, watch this," and he starts spinning the ring. And I'm like, I can think that. So anyway, a few years there, we were in Spain and we was at the shop and they had some dope rings. So I said, "Let me try that on." And I bought it because it had the spinning thing.
Wow.
But it's like a fidget, but it was nice because now,
Mm.
anytime I play with it, I think about my wife. So I'm going to look at the reverse of it now on why the ring is actually quite significant.
Mm.
It's not so much, there's external, there's internal. There's external in terms of what it looks like. Are you warding off other women? In this new age, women, they see the wedding ring, your target.
They are drawn
Yeah.
to men with wedding bands.
But for me now, it's like when I wear it, it's a constant reminder because it's a fidget, so it's got a spinning mechanism on it. So, so now I wear my ring, especially now that I'm not always with my wife, we're across borders and so forth. And now I really appreciate it more. But that's me. But again, I think you ladies picked this topic because it can go so many other ways. Now, coming back to your scenario, again, depending on the character of the man, it's straightforward, isn't it? If he's forgetting to wear his ring daily, or he's taking it off and on regularly, and there's no reason to, so to speak,
So
then you
can I
can
just
start.
ask you a question? Taking it on and off, what's that all about? What's the on and off, taking it on and off? I know that obviously your experience, but
Yeah.
what do you think why men are taking it on and off? Like, what's that all about? You reckon?
Sometimes your wedding ring, okay, this is a bit controversial,
Yeah.
but it's like every item of clothes we're wearing, yeah. Sometimes you have to know the surroundings you're going into and whether it might fit that purpose or not.
Right.
You see what I mean? So, for instance, I know guys that they'll wear their ring, but because of the church they go to on Sunday, they don't wear their ring.
Oh wow.
Because they don't want other pastor members in that church to say, "Right, how come you got a ring on all of that?"
I see, right.
But there's been times where you have a ring, and I've even seen guys put on rings. They don't even need a ring, but they know that attraction is there. So they'll put a ring on that particular finger because there's no set finger to wear it. But I think when if you're in a marriage and you're taking your ring on and off, a lot of times it's comfortability.
Yeah.
But if it's in context, what scenario is that person taking their ring on and off? Is it that I'm taking it off at 9 p.m. before I go to the rubber dub down the road, and I'm putting it back at 2 in the morning? So it's context, you know.
Yeah.
I actually watched a movie with I can't remember the name of it. It was called Left Behind, and it talks about when it was a Christian movie, and people were going to be left behind.
Yeah.
And this guy, he was literally having an affair with he was the pilot, and he was having an affair with
Yeah.
And he used to take his ring off and put it in his car and get on the plane. And when he comes back into the car, he puts his ring back on and then goes home. But this particular time, obviously, it's called Left Behind. So people are going to get left behind. And his ring was sitting in the car, and his daughter finds his ring and says, "Oh no, he's been having an affair." And she recognizes that he was having the affair with, obviously, with the steward. And it's so crazy that people could have it on with the wife, because when he was leaving, he kissed his wife, "Bye, babes." Da-da-da-da. As soon as he got in the car, he just put it in his little glove or something, and then he just went onto the plane. And then
He's
you see
doing
him
a
having the
double
affair
life.
with the steward. Huh?
Yeah, he's doing a double life in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It's so easy.
it's so easy because I mean I've been places where I've taken off my ring, just not even thinking about it. But then someone else looking at their ring, like, "Well, I was taking off his wedding ring for. He's about to go hunting or something." But I think again, you can use it as a signifier, but don't go and put oil in that fire yet. You need to see the context, see the habit. And ask the question, is your ring too big for you, too small for you?
Yes.
Like, if you take it off,
Yeah.
So, but let me ask you a question, because this is kind of pointed at men.
Yeah.
Now, you saying that women never take off their rings?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason why that's
What I want to hear. Yes.
So only because of the line of work that I do. So with like dealing with chemicals, it used to really irritate my fingers, so I would take it off. And I do remember one time, it's my ex-husband now, But I do remember one time I didn't put my wedding band on, and he did ask, "Where's your ring?" I was like, yeah, he wants to take it off because no, I take it off because of the chemicals.
So when you took it
that was
off,
the first time I actually had to take it off.
okay, so let me ask you this now. When you took it off, you're at work, washing your lovely hands, and Bob the builder comes in. Oh, she ain't got a ring. So did you have intention when you didn't wear the ring at work? Because it's a signifier. Because as a man, if you look at a woman, you're gonna say, okay, let me see if your ring. Okay, she ain't got it. All right. Okay. So some brothers in the friend zone or in the uncle zone, he hasn't got a ring on it. So did you get, when you did take your ring off, did you ever have excess attention or extra attention?
No, because it wasn't long enough. I didn't have it off. Like, it was just that particular day that I didn't have my wedding band on, and my husband at the time, he had noticed that I didn't have it on. So that was my reasons for not having, because of chemicals and
so on that particular day, there wasn't a queue of guys.
No. So that was my reasons for, not wearing my wedding band on that particular.
And Mel, have you had any experiences?
Well, no. In terms of putting my wedding band on, I slept with it, drank with it, and I kept it on because I honoured what I was wearing, and that's how I saw it. But when I was getting a divorce from my first husband, literally, I didn't want to take it off because I felt embarrassed. So I used to keep my ring on because I kept thinking people are going to be saying like, "Oh my God, is she not married anymore? Is she divorced?" And so I kept the ring on for a very long time because of the shame and the embarrassment it came with. So I kept it on until I was ready to take it off. I kept it on until that time.
Yeah.
And I find, and we flip the script a little bit, even if you've got a wedding band on, it doesn't stop a man saying you look nice or a woman saying you look good. Because it happens, and we all know that. And we had a conversation, Nikki, that we know that, men have said to me personally, women are more attracted to me being a married man rather than a single man. And I found that quite like, what is happening with us as people then? You know what I mean? Does it matter that you've got a ring on your finger then? Do you know what I mean? We're saying, is it important? But does it matter? For some people don't care if you've got a ring on your finger. That doesn't do anything to them necessarily. I remember some guy checked me. I said, I'm married. And they said, if you're married, man. I was like, hey. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they don't really care sometimes. They can just go.
Just go with it.
Just go with it. And I think, and this is personal to me, I think that women that do go for married men, there's no commitment. So they just like that. There's no commitment to it. You don't have to think about, oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. You just know what he's there for, and that is it. Whether that's for money, whether that's for sex, whether that's for going out, whatever that is what that woman's there for, that man's there for, and it's not going anywhere else.
Okay.
Unless it gets messy.
Okay, you buy your phone. The first thing you buy a phone is because it's convenient. You need to do something with it.
Yeah.
But then when you have your phone for a while, you can't live without it. So that's where it turns into, you said it gets messy, so to speak, because ultimately that convenience becomes something else. Now I know there are some people that don't mind being, the side wing. They're cool.
That's
They're
a good one, isn't it?
And literally, it's a way of that because yes, even with the ring, without you get, it's the same. I think the rules have changed. But it's a signifier for us to now start saying, all right, coming back to the fact that it's not even in the like spiritual book, so it must be a thing where it was done as a signifier to say, all right, hey, leave her alone, leave him alone.
They take it. Yeah.
But I think more so, what's good for us is that now, following what you just said, that we use it as a signifier, but as a reminder. Because ultimately, the person who's wearing the ring has to be reminded, this is what I signed up for. So for me, this is my daily reminder. This is what I signed up for, and I'm cool with it. And it actually becomes a joy now, because I was looking at the wedding ring all wrong. I was looking at it as, okay, cool, I'm getting married. That's another bag, plus the bag. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that's just the entry level you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for ways to come out. And I'm thinking, do you even need it? Do you see what I mean? So now I'm so glad I have it, but not for the reasons that most people would, go for, because if you look internally, our reason for wearing it is actually stronger than why we're looking at those who have it and what it signifies.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's so true. But I think like a scenario in it in terms of like when you like someone and they're not wearing a wedding band, that's another issue in terms of like say for an example, I see a guy and I think, oh, he's nice, oh, he's not married. You know, because as Christians, for me, if you're looking for someone or you're wanting to be married, you're going to look for someone who's not wearing wedding bands.
Mm.
So whether we like it or not, that's what we're going to be looking at. Oh, he's not married, it's because I think the wedding bands on. And later on to find out he is actually married, he's just not wearing wedding bands.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like that is like, that's what I think, that's my reasoning why it's important. Because you could be sitting there going, he's nice, man, I like him, he's sis, what the and not knowing that he's actually married.
Mm.
Yeah, but and I agree with that, you know. So that comes to that's like being Batman one day. You come to do what you do certain tools. So now if he's a salesman, for instance, yeah, if he's a salesman and he finds that doing statistics of his 20 years in sales, that he gets more results when he doesn't wear the ring, then you know what? He's not gonna wear the ring that day. But then the person on the other side is like, oh, this guy's nice, he's not married. But he's using that as an enabler to get the sale. I'm not saying that's right or whatever the case may be, but he might have a reasoning. Now, I'm not saying it's right, but I think in the state we are in now, it's for the game. Some girls, they want the guy with the ring. Some girls, they want the guy without the ring. Some guys know that if I wear the ring today and I'm going into the party, I am now, you know, I'm definitely getting some numbers. So it's a game, and it's so confusing. But my thing is now I've seen a couple of girls that don't wear their rings, and it's like, okay, why are you wearing your ring? And again, it swings around about. I don't want to even know sometimes. I'm like,
Okay.
I know she's married, she hasn't got a ring. I've asked once, but it was just a case of she was family, and they were going through something, so she was like tired right now. I don't want to see the ring. Yeah, so because she was going through like the early divorce parts of it. So would you agree with me in saying that you can't just assume that, you have to ask the question?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
You just think like you can't just look from
Honestly,
afar
yeah.
and just think maybe it's. I've even had guys in the past, when I wasn't married, and said to me, "Oh Mel, you know, I'm about to get married, but if I saw you before, I would have married you." And he's about to get married. Like, what thoughts are you having? Like, are you really ready for marriage when you're at that place?
I think yes and no, because yes, I'll certainly say there's a different reason why we get married, number one. But because you get married, it doesn't mean you can't express the realness with someone. So now, for instance, if that guy's known you for years, and you guys are comfortable in that conversation, you know, yeah, I decided to marry Lucy or, you know, Jenny, but doesn't mean I can't tell Sarah, you know what? You told me, you know. Different, but you think you're
I think that's enough.
no, but I'm saying, no.
I don't agree with that.
You just think about it. The woman.
If I say no, then later.
No, but I haven't told the man that I liked him. I haven't told him that. I haven't said, "Oh, I like you." I haven't said any of that. He's telling me he likes me, and then he's saying, "You know, if I'd met you before, Mel, I would have married you."
Yeah, so you know what kind of what
and he was about to get married. So the wedding dress is there. The venue's already booked. They're ready about to get married. You can't be saying that to someone when you're engaged to be married.
No.
That's like, what marriage life are you gonna have? Because if you're thinking I would have married you, that means you're not actually wanting to marry the person who's sitting in front of you.
Yeah, I think that's
100%.
Seems to be why.
100%. But again, we know that we have to take everyone differently. So we can't paint them with the same brush, because it'll be interesting to see where that marriage is now.
Oh,
And
that's
I actually went to the wedding.
and you went.
No, but I didn't like him. He was just telling me he likes me, innit?
I understand.
But no, he was a friend. It's you know, it's not like that. He was like someone. He wasn't tight
So
friend.
you can stand up and say,
Yeah.
I've got some issues here.
Stop. No, they're still happily married. But you know, that might have just been his fault.
Does he wear a wedding band?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
so now we've got more evidence
right.
to agree with. But if I something now, okay, in knowing all of this,
Mm.
would you, if you got married now, remarried, and your husband said, you know what, babe, let's get some cheap wedding rings,
Mm.
or let's not wear wedding rings at all.
Mm-hmm.
Let's flip it up. How would you feel about that?
It's so funny we've had this conversation. So, who I am now today, I'd be totally fine with that.
Is it?
If you, yeah. And that's only because I would trust my husband that whether he wears a ring or not, I'm still his wife.
Yeah.
If you had asked me this a couple of years ago now, I would be, yeah, you need to be wearing a ring. Yeah, I'd be like, no, you need to wear a ring. So, for me, that would be okay. I'm the opposite. Yeah, he's got to be wearing his wedding band. Like, no, I think that's just my personal. I don't know why that's my personal view though. I don't even know why it's important to me because I haven't even thought of it, but it is important for me.
100%.
And I don't know if that's my own. This is how I see husbands and wife. That he represents me and I represent him.
Mm.
So when he's out and he says, "Oh, you're married," yeah, I want him just like how you could pronounce your wife on our live. That's what I want him to be doing. Like, yeah, my wife, blah blah blah. So he represents me and I represent him. And if he's not doing any of that, then why are we there? Like we become one. We're a couple.
Mm.
So that's how I see married life. I think
So-
you're just doing bits and bobs.
So the ring,
Yeah.
the ring is what makes. So
No, it doesn't make the marriage.
So what if one day, I don't know, he's wearing his wedding band, I don't know, like
Fingers
irritation
swell
or
up.
something, yeah, like finger swells or
Yeah, that's
whatever.
different. That's
You
like,
think it's for,
yeah, I wouldn't say anything about that. But I mean, the ones that you're just taking it on and off and doing your foolishness, that's when I'm worried. Like, why are you doing that? But I think if it's something for a medical reason or, you know, he could put weight on and he has to get a new ring. Why a new ring then? If it's a cheap ring, why a real one?
I totally understand. I think that my wife will say the same thing.
Yeah, it's
It's like,
important.
listen, I don't want to go out there and have to bust up some girl because she thinks she my sister is good together.
No.
She was joking like that, but I know that it's almost like a comfort thing. So when I try and put
or the
myself in the other,
security.
yeah,
though.
security.
But you know what I like? When I look at my husband's hand, I like to see his ring on his finger. It's like a nice feeling. I'll tell you what it's like. It feels like, oh my God, I'm married. That's what the feeling is for me. So that's why it's nice for me. And if you take it off, I'm like, I'm gonna have, you know, she's I don't like the feeling of it. It's just so nice. I can't explain it.
You're definitely right. I get more points when I put my wig in.
Yeah, you get
So
you
if
get
I'm
brand
back, I'll
points.
put my wig in.
Oh dear.
But
You got it
yeah.
on your side.
So but okay, last question.
Yeah.
On that basis,
Oh.
if you really liked him and you get him married and said, well, look, for whatever his reasoning, would you be satisfied?
If he said he didn't want to wear one.
Yeah, do you think you could
Yeah,
actually
I
come
could
round?
go with that.
Oh, Nathan.
Would you still wear yours? Okay, you wouldn't. So if would you still wear yours if he wasn't wearing his?
Of course.
Okay.
I still won't mind. Yeah, I wouldn't.
No, that happened.
No, I would. Oh. I don't think I'd be able to, but I would. It depends.
Yeah.
Let's say it depends
Okay.
on what the situation is. So if it's a medical reason, then we can go with it. If it's, you know, he can give me a good reason why he doesn't want to wear it. Some people go to work and they can't wear it because
Okay, so let me give you something. I'm telling you, I say to you, no, I don't want to wear the ring because number one, what does it actually mean? And we can't have a justifiable agreement on it because you're a Christian and you can't show me in the book. Or book. So, do you know what I mean? And so now I'm saying, no, I just don't want to wear it. I love you, but I just don't want to wear it.
I'll be
What
like,
are you gonna say?
why? I'll be like, why? And what's your answer when if I say why? What are you gonna say?
It's just not my cup of tea. I just
But
don't want to
when
wear
we
it.
were getting married, you said you was gonna wear a wedding band.
Right, I was going to say,
Okay.
what if at the get-go,
Yeah, that's the
he doesn't want to
problem.
wear.
Yeah, if at the get-go, if he said that, I will honour it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, if he said at the get-go, because I'm talking about if you keep on and taking it on and off, then there's a problem going on. But if at the get-go and we said we're not gonna wear wedding bands, even myself, then let's
No, but
do
he
that.
wants you to wear one, but he doesn't want to wear one.
Why does he want to wear one?
That's a good one.
Yeah, if he said that, I would. It'd have to be a good reason. And if it's a reason like,
So was my reason good enough?
what was your reason? Because
My reason was that it's not in the Bible. I don't just wear it. And I said to my missus, look, I'll wear it on the day. That was my compromise. I'll wear it on the day, but use 90% of the budget. You see what I mean? And for me, I just don't want to wear it. I've changed now,
I know.
but in that scenario, I've told you exactly my reasoning.
Yeah, I would.
Could you stomach it, or would it bug you daily?
It would bug me. I'll be like, where's he going? Why is he not wearing it? I would,
No, that's
I
fair,
know,
man.
that's exactly
But
because
that's fair, though.
maybe that's because of what I've gone through in my life. Maybe that's where I would feel that way. But if it makes you feel secure about yourself, or secure about your relationship, then I wouldn't worry about it. But if he's making you feel some type of way, like he's being shady, then I'm gonna think, no. He's
You know
doing
what?
something
I
else.
just had one of the epiphanies here.
Yeah.
So obviously, I've come into the conversation from a male point of view.
Yeah.
So with that, masculine energy, I'm thinking my viewpoint. I ain't wearing it done. But I thought right now, not like if I'm like tomorrow, just stop wearing a ring and I'll just come back from England, I've flown home.
Yeah.
What do you ring? And I'm thinking about it in my point of view, because I'm going to be asking questions now because there's a couple of men in my block and I don't mind those ones.
Yeah.
Why are you ringing? So I actually have to put it in that.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, well, how would you feel? Because it's the truth. Like, she's always about her ring in the beginning. Now, you come home, as you said, because obviously she's abroad at this bit.
I need to make a phone call.
You go home, if
Yeah,
she's not wearing a wedding band, what are you going to be saying?
Yeah, I'll definitely. Yeah, okay, I'll definitely ask the question. I'll play it cool first.
Okay.
First.
So
thing,
what's
second
going
thing.
on here now? Because what I'm hearing is this. If your wife or your husband is no longer wearing their wedding bands, the first thing is coming to head is someone say cheating. Yeah, is either they're cheating or are they having second thoughts or do they want out of the marriage and it's negative? Why can't it just be like they
I
just
think
no
because
longer-
as humans we watch so many movies. But do you know what? For the first time in this conversation, I'm humbled because I actually put myself in
The woman's
position.
perspective.
And
Yeah.
I'll ask the question, like, what's going on here? You're fun, man.
Then you see the numbers. No, but I think in your case, and just in your case, I'm giving examples that because your wife was so she wanted to wear a ring and you didn't at the time, if she took it off, you would have some thoughts thinking, is something going on here or
Yeah,
know.
now because I have the understanding. If she
Mhm.
took it off, I'll be like, well, that's cool because I don't wear mine anyway. But now she just took it off for the sake and said nothing about it. And I have to question myself, like, are they moving Mookie? Like, I don't know what's the place. What have I done? Why are you taking it off? But just the thought process, honestly now, jokes aside, I actually can see it now from your point of view. Because again, the title of it was more directed to if a man takes it off.
Yeah.
Brothers,
Listen.
keep an eye out, yeah? If she takes it off, you need to find out why.
That's right. Yeah.
And if your husband takes off his ring, you need to ask him why. As well.
Subtly, don't go in there 100.
So, wait, hang on.
Yeah, no, it's true.
No, but I think in terms of taking on, okay, and there was a time where I've seen like my pastors, not all of them, but I've got a couple of pastors, but they weren't wearing their rings.
Mm.
And someone said to me, well, he's not wearing his ring. And I was like, yeah, what's the big deal? But for me, I said, well, we know that they're married because they are pastors. You can see that they're married because we go to the church. But does that still validate him to not wear his ring?
Okay. Okay. Do you want to go for this story?
Oh,
Or should I, 'cause when you were saying that, I just thought of something.
Okay.
And again, it's a weird one because it's your pastor. He's in a position of leadership. And most likely, most churches you go to, they're pushing marriage because of the challenges we have as broken couples, broken relationships. It's
It's not
struggling
only,
together.
not only
Yeah.
the
So-
pastors, but I've seen that just even couples, like one week they've got their rings on, another week they haven't. And, is it that they woke up and they just forgot to put it on? Or, And I don't even know why I actually identify it. Like, oh, they're not wearing a ring.
But
No.
I'm more interested in the pastor right now. That would be interesting. Again, that would be really interesting. Like, okay, how come he's not wearing his ring?
Not totally though, just sometimes.
Just sometimes.
Yes, it's not all
Yeah,
the
but remember
time.
Sunday comes after Saturday.
We're not discriminating any pastors.
I'm not discriminating any pastors, I'm just saying. Why did you
This
forget
is a
it?
one-off.
It's a one-off. But yeah, again, I'm in an ideal world, we all wear tags. I'm not wearing my wedding today because of, but we can't. But it's interesting that if someone in a position like that is saying you don't need to wear your ring, so to speak, I understand it from, for instance, the SDA point of view, because they're going from a logical standpoint of it's not in the Bible, but most Protestant and mainstream churches, they'll wear the wedding ring. So it'd be interesting why he's chosen not to wear it. But it could be something as simple as it's just jarring that particular day.
Do people take their wedding bands to go to bed?
Yeah, it would know when I wear mine off.
Did I take mine?
I didn't.
No, that's
So again, I get this. It just feels uncomfortable in the morning, like wherever the blood is. So I tend to take over the routine, but I leave it in a place right next to my watch. So now it's a routine that they both go on.
Yeah. What about your wife? Does she keep her wedding band on?
Yeah, she gets on. It's funny because even when I was to my mum, so now she ain't got a wedding ring. I was like, what was your ring? And because even when my dad left years ago, like years, she used to always wore a ring. So I think she only took off her ring like 5-6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
You see what I mean? So that's 25, maybe 30 years of still wearing your ring.
Wow, that's amazing.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
And then that takes me to the point you said in terms of embarrassment or because in society, I think when you're married, it's like, yeah, someone's chosen me. I'm married. You see what I mean? So that's why
there's a level
very
of
true,
and there's actually a level of respect. And what I noticed is that I was a single parent for a long time before I got married to my daughter's dad, and I saw the difference. Like, I remember going to the school just for a parents' evening, and I walked in, and she said, "Oh," she went, "Oh, hi," and I went, "Oh, hi," and I goes, "Oh, yeah, this is my husband with me," and then she went, "Oh, come in." So her voice changed, and I thought, hold on, you know, if I was single here, maybe you would have said a different thing. And then I noticed when I did get a divorce and I went to the school, there was a level of respect was dropped. And you just think, is it because I'm a single parent now that, you know, you don't look at me as somebody, you know, up there, or, you know, and it's really bad because there's a different level of respect when you're married and when you're single.
Yeah, I think from a teacher's point of view, going forward, seeing a lot of kids, they'll think, okay, I need to handle this one differently because she's a single mother, she's probably got stresses.
Yeah.
Especially she's in the same position. And I think for me, that situation, as you've played it out, when the man is there with you, it shows kind of a level of completeness.
Yes.
Which then, we know it's easier to raise a child and mold them when both are there.
Absolutely.
So she's not thinking, all right, cool. Because I've seen, like, throughout school, you know, some parents will kick off. And there are mothers that are single mothers and dads are single dads. By the time they come to school, they just come from work. They don't want to hear your kids getting bad grades. It's handled differently. Whereas when I'm doing parenting with my kids, it's a lot more smoother because we're able to take it in and you know, we've got that support structure. But I think, yeah, you're right. There's definitely a difference.
A different
So, guys, I think it's been great. It's been phenomenal. You've given me a few lessons.
Good lessons.
The importance of the band.
Important.
Keep it on, I say, keep it on.
So what I would say in closing is just make sure when you're going to go and get your band, between you and your missus, you're thinking about it. For the men, make sure the band is comfortable. Because a lot of them are comfortable. Get yourself sized up. But if I was going to get it a bit bigger and then put a filler in it if need be, but allow it to be able to be comfortable, because that small irritation can annoy someone to the point where you put it down. Now you're challenged about it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna make it my thing because it's annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, just get it, just make it comfortable. You know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh. But thank you, Ollie, so much.
Thank you. It's been a great show.
I'd like to have you come back again when we have another topic.
I have to make sure I'm well researched. enough notice, but it's been a pleasure, and I wish you guys the most success anyway. I'll be tuning in next week. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
Oh,
Thank you.
wasn't that amazing? Amazing,
That was
amazing.
That was, yes.
That's a good topic,
Very
isn't it?
interesting.
Very interesting. And you know, so you know, as we said, you know, you don't have to wear a ring, a ring. Side wing. You don't have to wear a ring to prove that you're married and that you know you love that person. But there is still an importance in terms of, you know, if you're looking for a wife, if you're looking for, we're not looking for a husband, we're waiting for a husband, it is important so that, you know, if we do like somebody and that person is not wearing a wedding band or vice versa, they can maybe approach or, you know. But I just want, before we wrap up on that, Nikki, I just really want to talk about like when they were saying that women don't mind going out with married men. And it's more, to them, it's more, what's the word would you call it?
Like, women are attracted to.
More attractive, isn't it? Because there's no commitment, there's no
commitment. And I think as well, for another woman, it's a case of, you know, that she is able to, as I say, it's that sort of like take another woman's husband or, you know, which is really, it's wrong. But I didn't even know that. I was told that by my ex-husband actually, that women are attracted to men, to married men, when they do wear their wedding bands. So it is wrong. Absolutely.
But yeah, so this was a great topic. We're so excited about Truthful Tuesdays. Obviously, we are in the studio and we are discussing these topics. And if there's, I'm not sure, I can check to see if we've got any questions. If there's any questions before we wrap up and leave, I'm not sure. We've got a few comments here. So Adrian Stanton, yes, I do believe that is insignificant that a husband should wear his wedding band. The wedding band is the symbolic declaration of the union. And Gemma said, so true, Melissa. I'm not sure what that happened to me. And men just are chatting when they say that. I don't know what they're talking about, correct? And then someone else said, other people are watching that. Yeah. So there is a few comments here today. But yeah, it is so important. It's very significant. And we don't want to get it wrong because relationship is so important, Nikki, to God. Do you know what I mean? Marriage was so important to God, you know. He says in his word, he hates divorce. So when he has a union that is put together, he wants to know that it's solidified. It's, you know, he wants to know that is what it is with your marriage. So it's important that we do what we should do in marriage so that we don't open up doors and we don't open up avenues for other people to come into the circle. And you know, we talk about the ring. The ring is like the circle of our love. That we don't want no one else to come in that circle. It should just be God, your husband and your wife. And that's a union that we should have. So it's so important to keep that union going, and don't open the doors to any other thing or person. You know, taking off your ring is opening a door to someone coming in and saying, I like you. I know that we're saying that they can come in. Don't you think?
I think for me, I think once you have that trust in your husband and the husband has that trust in his wife.
No, but I mean, open the door for someone else to like you.
They're gonna like you regardless you've got a ring on or not. That's what I believe, that regardless whether you wear your wedding band or not, somebody is still gonna like you, you know, but it's how you deal with that person. So therefore, if you're wearing your wedding band and a woman or a man approaches you, you say, I am happily married. Even if you're not wearing your wedding band and somebody approaches you, you tell them, I am happily married, you know, and then so regardless for me.
But you know what happened to me? I just remember it just come back to me when I got engaged the first time, when I first got engaged, and that engagement didn't work out. And I had my engagement ring on, and I was engaged for at least 4 years at the time. And believe me, as soon as I took that engagement ring off, I had about 5 or 6 guys said, "Oh, you're not with that guy anymore. Oh, you're not wearing no engagement ring." So people started to approach me. That's why I say that that door opens, because they know now that you're not with them. And I'm not talking about, when I say open the door, I mean like you give someone the avenue to come in and like you or want you. And I know that people can come with you with marriage, but there's a little barrier that stops them. They're like, I believe there's a
The
barrier.
good guys.
Yeah.
The good ones, there is a barrier, but then you've got men that they don't care whether you have, they find you attractive even more when you've got your wedding bands. Those are the men that just raw. So I just personally think that there is, the wedding band is there to, to hold them off, so to let them know that you are taken.
Yes.
However, there are still people out there that it just goes over their heads.
And
Whether we got, whether we're
rings or not,
rings or not. Yeah.
so it's important,
But it is important.
but it's important, but sometimes it's not important. Is that what we're saying? Are we saying important but not important? It is important.
It's important if it makes your partner feel secure
Yes.
within a marriage. As I said, if it was me a couple of years ago, definitely 100% he would have to wear his wedding band.
But that comes with the level of confidence in how we become confident in who we are, because we don't really matter about it.
And trust as
And
well.
trust.
Because you're meant to trust your husband, even if he decides one day he's not going to wear his wedding band, you're still meant to trust him to know that he's not going to go and cheat because a woman's going to approach him because he's not wearing his wedding band.
Yeah.
That's the trust you have in your husband. That regardless whether he's wearing his band or not, my husband is not going to go there. So that's
Because he can still cheat with the wedding band on.
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's got nothing to do with the wedding.
With the band.
But you know what? As I was saying before, the beauty that I used to like look at is to look at and see it there. It's a reminder that I'm married to him, and for me, it was a nice feeling. And that's what I used to like to see. So it wasn't a case of I wasn't confident or I was like, oh my God, why? But if you started taking it on and off, that's when I started thinking, hey, what's going on here? The trust issues then it starts kicking in. But if you just, taking it off for a reason, as we said, it's a different.
Yeah, because I think if the husband was if it was like 6 months to a year down the line, then he started to take off his wedding band, then that's alarm bells, isn't it? That's like, okay, so is everything okay?
Are you
What's going on? Yeah, this is something you can discuss. If he says, I just want to just take my wedding band off, then
I just think I just find it just weird that 1 minute you're wearing it, the next minute you don't want to wear it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It just makes there's some question about it.
Yeah.
You've got to question it. It's like we've married with this, and there's some people that don't even get married with rings. You really know that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I know, like Church of God of Prophecy, I'm not so much now, but I know when I first started, back in the days, they didn't wear it. They didn't get married with rings. So, there's some people that just, and some people still don't do that. I think Seventh-day Adventists as well, they don't wear rings. They don't. And some people definitely say we are happily married without rings.
Absolutely.
It's like happily married without rings. But is it society then that makes you feel like you should wear your ring because what happens when they take it off? Is it or is it our past experiences? Like, that we think you've got to wear the ring because I want everyone to know you're my husband. I want everyone to know this.
I mean, if it's not biblical that we don't have to wear a wedding band, then we know that it's something that it's not biblical that you have to wear a wedding band.
Yeah.
But I don't know. As I said, my views has totally changed.
Yeah.
My views on wedding bands has totally changed.
Well, my views hasn't changed. My view is I actually like to see it. So I just like to see it. I just think it's beautiful to see it. And as just like Ollie was saying, when he spins his finger, it reminds him that this is about my
I
wife.
like that actually.
It's a
That
nice
he
analogy,
actually
isn't it?
decided to wear the wedding band because he knew it made his wife happy.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to wear, he wanted him to wear the wedding band. So I kind of respect that.
Yeah. And I
really
think
like
that it's like honouring your husband and your wife, isn't it? Like
Mm.
you're honouring what they want.
Yeah.
And I think when they start taking it off, that means that they're like, yeah, because you really like me wearing it. So
Mm.
what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it
Mm.
off because I want you to get upset. When someone knows what you like, they can
Mm.
change for that reason as well. Some relationship changes next because
Yeah.
things are going wrong. So they start doing things that you do like and stop doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so any questions of anything? We are gonna start getting people to come to the live studio. We haven't set it up as yet. So we're gonna do it once a month. And we're not gonna do it every other week, the live, but we're gonna do it once a month. And it might be in a different location. So we're kind of just working out where we're gonna actually do it because yeah, I would say seating, people, cameras, lights, action. But yeah, we are working on that area as well in terms of how we are going to do it and stuff. I hope you all enjoyed. We are back, not this week, not next week, the week after.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have another guest on to have another discussion. We don't know what we're going to talk about
No.
then, but we will let you know. And if there's any questions or anything that you want to ask us, drop us a message, a text, whatever it is. Yeah. And that's it for us tonight. It's been an amazing time talking about whether or not, as there's anyone new coming on, we're talking about, is it important for men? We didn't say women. Women, we're going to deal with the women. Maybe something can deal about the women. We can do a topic on women and find out an area. Is it important that a husband does wear a ring?
Yeah. And you know what? I say? I do like to see that. No, I said my mind. However, it is nice to see when you see a couple, a beautiful couple as well, and they've all got their wedding bands on it. It is beautiful, and it is nice to see that.
It's nice, especially when they complement each other, and you see them, you're like, oh, they're so much such of a nice couple. The union and the oneness is just beautiful to see. So that's why I think it's important, and that's why I think that it's just lovely to see a union together and it's strong. And I just think it's nice. It's nice. It's so nice. But yeah. I know I'm not married. Yes, God. Yes, in due time, next. But God is good, and we are going to leave you all.
Yes, and men, I hope you are loving on your wives.
Yes,
and wives.
It's a love day today. Yape love day today. Yeah, we just hope that you're having a great time. You're loving on her. You bought her loads of presents. You've got the kids to make breakfast in bed. You've made a good meal. You're taking her around. Whatever you've done, we just hope that you've done a great time.
And the wives to do something nice for your husband.
Yeah, so we just hope that you're doing well in this time, on this day. But we love you all. Thank you so much for joining our live stream. And we will see you again, not next week, the week after, with another hot topic. Take care. Bye. Let's go.